Today we're speedrunning FNAF, which might seem like a weird game to speedrun, but it actually has a couple of cool tricks. The first one is on the intro screen, where we can press continue and then immediately press new game to skip the newspaper at the beginning. Then immediately after that, we do a fade skip. As the text starts fading away, if we press Alt F4, this will skip the fading transition and immediately go to the loading screen. We can use this trick 9 times in the run, so doing efficient fade skips is really important for going fast. Anyways, it's time for the general gameplay loop of night 1, which I'll let myself in the past explain. Thanks, future me. So basically, to start out, there's the stuff that everyone knows. You can use your lights plus the door to make sure that no animatronics can get in, and we have both of those on both of the sides. And then we also have our cameras where we can see where the animatronics are at. Now the main ones are going to be Bonnie, Chica, and Freddy. Bonnie can basically go through the left side, so that's cam 1B, 5, 3, 2A, and 2B. While Chica will take the right side, so that's cam 1B, cam 7, 6, 4A, and 4B. And while Bonnie can teleport so he doesn't have to go on a set path, Chica does have to go on that set path, so it's just easier to deal with her. And then Freddy does his thing too, but we don't really have to worry about him till the third night, so yeah, we'll talk about him later. And there's also Foxy, who if you don't check the cameras enough, he'll start peeking his head off through the curtains and eventually come run and attack you. Now you'll notice that I haven't been worrying about the animatronics so far, and also I just realized I had a door closed the entire time, so that meant I lost a lot of electricity. But it's fine because night 1 is super easy. Up until 2 a.m., none of the animatronics can even move. All of their aggression levels are set to 0, and we can literally just sit here if we want and waste like no power. Then every single day at 2 a.m., Bonnie's aggression level will go up by 1. At 3 a.m., everybody's aggression level except for Freddy will go up by 1. And at 4 a.m., again, everyone except for Freddy's aggression level will go up by 1. And now you'll see it is 2 a.m., so we can start checking on him. And I'll also bring you back to future Ren. Alright, pretty good job me in the past. So like I was saying, because all the aggression levels in night 1 are so low, we barely have to worry about animatronics showing up. The higher the aggression levels, the larger chance an animatronic has to move, so right now we can mostly just relax. I should also explain that with Foxy, as long as we check cams every few seconds, he'll never have a chance to move. We don't even need to look at his specific camera, so he's a bit of a non-issue as long as I'm paying attention. And of course, Freddy can't even move at all on the first night. The only animatronic that's really worrisome on night 1 is Bonnie, since he can teleport instead of taking a set path. But surprisingly, even he didn't show up on the first night, and once we make it far enough into the night and have enough power, we can shut both doors and just hang out until it reaches 6 a.m. Here's also where we get our next 2 fade skips. The first one is after all the cheering ends and once 6 a.m. starts going away. And then the next one is when the second night text starts fading away as well. Obviously, these are really small time saves, but even if you save just a few more frames than someone else, that can be a world record, so it's crucial to do these well. Alright, now it's time for night 2. On this night, the aggression levels are set to 0, 3, 1, 1, and we'll finish the night with 0, 6, 3, 3. So again, Freddy's not really a problem here. But Chica and Bonnie start to show up a bit more, and we need to use the camera every few seconds to make sure that Foxy doesn't come by. This is why at the beginning of the night, I just spam the camera up and down until someone moves. Then once I saw Bonnie moved, I started using this pattern of switching between the light and the camera. Finally, once Chica moves, we go into this pattern of light, light, check cams, light, light, check cams, etc. The nice thing about this strategy is neither Bonnie or Chica can attack you until you put your camera up and back down. So as long as I'm paying attention and do this fairly fast, no one can hit me at all. This is also a lot easier on my hands than the strategy I'll be using for night 3, so that's important to consider as well, because this speedrun has a lot of repetitive motions. But after a bit of doing this over and over, we finish the night and get to do our next 2 fade skips. By the way, this is probably as good a time as any to mention something cool about fade skips. The person who found them, Throwaway Account, actually got inspired by my FNAF World video to make a tool-assisted speedrun of that game, which led them to finding fade skip, because this mechanic works on a bunch of these older FNAF games. Really cool because I love when people get more into speedrunning after they watch my videos, and since it works on so many of the FNAF games, if you want to see more, leave a like and we'll get to number 2 next. Anyways, we're on night 3 now and we're gonna adopt a new strategy. Well, at least once it reaches 2 a.m. See, the aggression levels this time start at 1052 and go up to 1374 by the end of the night. This means that Freddy is finally in play right at the start, but Bonnie isn't until 2 a.m. So we can check for just Chica until 2 a.m. and not really have too many problems, especially since there's a lot of audio cues to know where she's at. Then finally, once Bonnie becomes active, we can go into this general gameplay loop of left light, cam, right light, cam, left light, cam, right light, cam, etc. To be honest, this is a bit unnecessary for night 3 since the animatronics aren't too bad just yet, but we want to get into the rhythm now so we won't have problems once night 5 comes around. And the main purpose of this strategy is to keep Foxy and Freddy stunned, especially since Freddy is a really active guy once we get to night 5, so it's crucial that we keep him in one place and never let him leave. And as long as we're using this strategy efficiently, neither Bonnie or Chica have time to attack us, so it keeps us really safe. The only problem is sometimes Bonnie and Chica really like hanging out for a long time at the doors, especially since the aggression levels are still fairly low. Obviously, the lower the level, the less likely they are to move, meaning that it can either help or hurt us. But with good usage of the strategy and the tiniest bit of luck, night 3 is a breeze, we can do our 2 fade skips, and we're moving on to night 4. On this night, the starting aggression levels are now question mark 2, 4, 6. Freddy is a question mark since he can either start with 1 or 2 today, with a 50-50 chance of being either. And that means, of course, they'll get up to question mark 5, 6, 8 by 4 AM. So a huge increase on the Foxy levels, but everyone else doesn't change too much. Still not really a problem though since we have our overpowered strategy, which means that Foxy being more aggressive won't really affect us. I pretty much only worry about Bonnie for this night since he's pretty active, but it all comes down to reacting. Having sound on is actually pretty important for that too, since hearing a little jump scare noise really helps to make sure you don't accidentally look at cameras and die for no reason. But not too much to say about this night, so let's finally move on to night 5 after we get our final 2 fade skips. This night immediately starts us out with the aggression levels of 3, 5, 7, 5, and we'll get up to 3, 8, 9, 7. At this point, the biggest problem with completing the speedrun was honestly my hands. Like I said before, doing this repetitive motion starts to get to you after 40 minutes straight of this game, but I really wanted this to be the run. What thankfully helped though is I had my friend Brian in the call and he could keep me company.
Do you know how you're doing that camera thing all the time?
Yeah.
You know what it sounds like?
Not really.
It's like the Squidward Tiki thing.
What? Tiki thing?
It's like famous, so it's like, it's classic. It's like the Welcome Squidward's Tiki Land.
Oh my gosh, it does. That song. Tiki Tiki. Tiki Tiki. Yeah, we have some weird conversations, and if you want more, you should go check out my second channel, EazySpeezy, since that's like 50% of what we do. Shilling aside though, all I had to do was perform correctly and not run out of power. The power did get a little worrisome since the 2 problem children constantly showed up, and they even showed up at the same time once. Thankfully though, I eventually made it out with a power level of just 7% and a time of 45:26.91. Yeah, I definitely earned this $120, and I also earned 11th place on the leaderboards, which I'm pretty proud of. Alright, subscribe if you enjoyed. Bye.